And we have had some inquiries. Some of our clients are thinking about selling their investment property. And they're also asking about the implication for their taxes this time of year.
Capital gains, right?
Capital gains, and if you know, if you sell your investment property, you're looking at around 20% of your gains, and so nobody likes to pay taxes, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
You know, but Denise, there is an alternative.
What's that?
And many people may have heard about this, so we thought we'd talk a little bit about it today, which is the 1031 exchange on investment. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. As always, it's so great to see you. You know, we just could not help ourselves this week. We had to get outside to shoot the video, so we ended up here at Morven Park, just outside of Leesburg.
It's a beautiful day.
It truly is.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, Denise, you know what time of year it is.
Time for vacation?
Close, but first, it's tax season.
Oh, you had to say taxes.
Oh, I did.
Yes, and as real estate agents, tax time is when we think about our real estate investor clients. And we have had some inquiries. Some of our clients are thinking about selling their investment property. And they're also asking about the implication for their taxes this time of year.
Capital gains, right?
Capital gains, and if you know, if you sell your investment property, you're looking at around 20% of your gains, and so nobody likes to pay taxes, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
You know, but Denise, there is an alternative.
What's that?
And many people may have heard about this, so we thought we'd talk a little bit about it today, which is the 1031 exchange on investment properties, you know, commercial investment type of properties. And many people still refer to it as the Starker exchange, which is the way that I grew up with it. But the 1031 exchange allows our investors to be able to defer paying capital gains as they reinvest in other properties. It's a great technique if you are an investor, if you own rental properties or other type of investment properties, to be able to take the gain that you realize. And of course, with the appreciation of real estate these days, everybody wants to be in the Northern Virginia market, right?
Yes.
You can take those gains and then roll them into the next property. And there's some basic, just very basic guidelines with regard to this. And there's a couple of different options from a timing standpoint. You probably know one of the ones that's used predominantly is the Deferred Exchange, which means that you go ahead and you, if you will, kind of locate or isolate some properties and designate them as properties that you're going to roll your gain into. That's the Deferred Exchange, in which that you go ahead, put your property on the market. Once it goes to settlement, you have, 45 days to designate the next property, and then you have to settle on that next property in 180 days.
Yes.
The other one that comes to mind is
the Reverse Exchange.
Yeah, right. That's the one that I think you talk about.
Yeah, that's the one I remember really well, because it actually means that you are going to go ahead and find that next investment property first. You're going to close on that, and then you have that 180 days in which to close on your first property, and that way the money gets deferred into the next property.
Yeah, and then, you know, there's a third too that's used. I've seen this happen before, where it's kind of referred to as a simultaneous exchange, in which that the sale of the investment property and the purchase are done at the same time. Probably a little bit from a logistics standpoint, probably a little harder to pull off, but still can be done. And, you know, this all happens as we have tried to organize ourselves and try to give some advice to our investors through an intermediary. The key here is that the investor, you, the investor, cannot handle the funds, so that if you do that deferred exchange, once you go to settlement, those funds really do need to be held in escrow by a professional.
Correct, correct. And I think another important thing to remember is this is deferred taxes. This is not tax-free.
Absolutely.
At all. So what it means is that any point in this change, so you sell one investment property, buy another, sell that one, buy another, throughout the years you keep buying bigger and bigger properties. Still, if you were to sell one and not buy another investment property, you will be paying taxes at that time.
That capital gains tax.
Another nice nugget about it, though, and I don't know if it's nice, but this holds true as long as you keep investing that money into other investment properties. It holds true until your death. So if you were to pass on that investment property to an heir, then they would not have to pay taxes even if they sold it.
Yeah, it's interesting the type of properties, of course, that can be utilized, because you can use a property that you lived in as your principal residence, turn that into a rental or an investment property. And over a period of time, a lot of people will say it's 12 months. To be safe, you may want to do it a little longer, create an investment property, hold on to it, and then do the exchange into another. And I've certainly seen situations where people have then taken that property that they've then settled on as an investment property and turn that back into a personal residence, and therefore that tax can be deferred. So certainly we advise you, talk to your accountant,
Yes.
talk to a good intermediary or title company attorney about how this is done. There's a lot of kind of nuances,
Yes.
and one of the things that Denise and I are going to advocate is that start very early. Declare your intentions right up front.
Yes.
And that even includes when you're making offers on property as you're selling and then
Correct.
going to buy, that your intention is to do a tax-free exchange, the 1031 exchange, because you want to make sure that that path is clear all the way through the transaction.
Yes, and don't let all the intricacies of it make you run away from
It's
the
a little
prospect.
scary.
It is a little, but that's why you have experts to
Yeah.
take care of that portion of it. But in terms of a business, we talk about passive income, we talk about side hustles. Real estate is one of the most lucrative ways to earn income. If you can afford an investment property, we would highly encourage it.
Yeah, we'd love to work with you. Well, as always, we really appreciate you tuning in. We hope the information that we share with you each week is valuable. There's a lot of, again, nuances to the tax-free exchanges, and certainly we want to bring in as many professionals as we possibly can to help you through this. But again, this is kind of like the entry level, if you will,
Yes.
beginning of 1031 discussions. So if you need some more information, please feel free to reach out to us. We've got great people that we work with. We'd wonderfully love to help you.
Yes, and I think weekly we send out a newsletter, and I think it's the reason we've attracted so many investor clients, because we have a lot of great information in that newsletter. So we highly recommend that you sign up. I'll put the link below.
Yeah. Well, again, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.